Hey guys, we're breaking out of the map a little bit more today with the site. This will take place over chapters 2 and 3, which are the only chapters where the site appears. Right around this section, extremely easy to access if you do any sort of exploring at all. You can just launch right through this area where the Seeker Destroyer is coming from and off the map. Yep. Eventually you fall down and well, you go further down and it triggers the fall, restart level kind of thing. There's a little rock over here right above this hill. This is actually the only time I've managed to get this rock to work for me. I tried several times after I did this. I could not get it to work once because it's very important that your angle is right, that your scythe is positioned exactly, basically. I just happened to hit it right here, launched over this cliff. I actually kind of messed it up. Getting over this cliff is a kind of a big deal because you can really, once you get over here, you can get out of the map in so many different ways. But of course, landed in this valley, ran into an invisible wall, and messed that up pretty bad. Basically, that cliff you're not normally supposed to be able to get to because using normal means you'd only be able to get to like the very bottom of the cliff and then you'd fall down because of the way the site falls and whatnot. Or you trigger the fall restart level thing. Invisible wall here, you can kind of see off the side. Then I tried to climb out when I was having trouble and well, got kind of stuck inside the site. This is right by the bridge where the Seeker dropship explodes. And something I should note about this bridge is that on the Xbox version at the very least, I don't remember if it's on PC, if you try to just walk onto that bridge before you hit it with the scythe, you walk through the bridge and fall off the end of it. So basically you just go on this little ledge and then right up the cliff and you can fall right off. Unfortunately I triggered the fall animation there, but over off to this side after you rocket around this rock here, get on the other side, and you can drop down. There's a couple little steps on the way down. I'm not exactly sure why it didn't trigger the restart level, checkpoint, whatever thing here, because I fell about the same distance. I was just about a step lower, and I actually managed to land right, maybe because I was hitting that rock and everything. Of course, as soon as I start trying to drive off here, it thinks I'm falling to my death, so it triggers the restart level thing. Here we are towards the end of this section, where you can see all the debris and rubble and whatnot. And you can actually see, if you look over past the bridge there, you can see a lot of deleted space on the ground. They actually did not fill that in. I believe it's because they deleted something. Go off to the end here, you'll see a platform that you really want to aim for because it's tricky to stay on that upper ridge there. But again, just rocket up the cliff, you get over this side, and this area is packed with invisible walls, which I actually think that they did have a lot more, they had like an object or something here that they had placed they didn't want you to get too close to, or something. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in this area, and I don't really know what the early editions looked like. But it's packed with invisible walls on every side. I cut here to show off that basically you really can't get much further in this section. You can see basically the bottom of the map and everything, but this part is kind of worthless. You may notice all these floating special effects on the air and everything. That's because I turned on a console command to freeze everything, so it's really annoying to have the Seeker Destroyer shooting you during this. But again, launch over this platform over here, then drive up the ridge, and this one is the worst break in this section because it really shows off, the shortcuts they made, sensible shortcuts they made. Of course, you look over this edge, you see the area where we did fall down before, but go along the ridge here, and you actually manage to bypass the cutscene that's supposed to transition you to the next area in this chapter. You know, the one where they're taking Ethan to the medical station, and you go off with the special ops agent. You just go along the ridge, and you get to see the buildings are, of course, sensibly not positioned on any sort of ground or anything, just floating in the air there. Oddly enough, all the buildings here are completely solid. At least I'm pretty sure they're completely solid. I'll run up one in just a second. But as you can see, there's just, basically, there's a sensible shortcut they made to reduce the memory consumption. But at the same time, I don't understand why they made the buildings solid. They're trying to save memory. Maybe, I don't know, it was a kind of cut and paste thing from a later thing. I'm not sure exactly. There's lots of different things you can do once you're up here. Most will result in you dying, but I'm going to actually explore a little more. You see there's a lot of really odd spike things along the end of the cliff there. I don't really understand why those are there, but you never see them in normal games, so it doesn't matter that much. I'm going to drive down this cliff here and show the building that you can see on the opposite side of the bridge is actually not solid, which is another thing I don't understand exactly. I mean, I don't know, pick and choose your solid buildings and whatever. Anyways, I'm going to go back up on top and then I'm going to reverse so that you guys can see what's at the end of this tunnel. Unfortunately, it's just empty space, of course. They didn't put a wall or anything at the end of it. And of course, falling off is death because it triggers the fall animation. That's that map pretty decently explored. Now, the very next map in this area, basically, this is right at the start. All you have to do is boost at the right spot. You dodge an invisible wall at this section, and you land right on top of the opposite side of this crumbled bridge. Now, it doesn't seem like a big deal at first because of the invisible walls around here. But if you follow the track off to the right here, which I'll show off in just a second, you can access the entire map from this. And it's ridiculous. You can also see some Z fighting here. But every part of the map at this point is open to you. There are a couple sections and invisible walls around like the normal, part of the level you're supposed to go through, just the things they put in to make sure you did not break out of those sections. But you basically have free reign here. You can run around, you can go through buildings. None of the buildings here are solid, by the way, which is unusual. I'm pretty sure all of them are not solid except for that one. I didn't really try all of them because there's such a large map that going around it and occasionally running into invisible walls and getting your scythe stuck is pretty tedious. So I'm actually going to cut in just a second to another break because you can wander around for ages right now. I should have brought the scythe, but I wasn't really thinking. Plus, you get a nice view of the skybox. It's one of my favorite skyboxes in the game, just because Edemea's moon, it's a very white look, and against the red and dark green background is really nice. But right under this bridge, this is a big mistake. I think they must not realize it. You just go right under, crawl under the bridge, and you're underneath the map. There's actually a little boxed area, so you can't really get much further, but still, you're underneath the map. I imagine they copy-pasted the bridge or something, but anyways, we're in chapter 3 here. Once you get the scythe, you kind of have a lot of freedom in this level. You're definitely not intended to do this, I know that. These satellite dishes, I think they're satellite dishes. I can't remember what the model names are off the top of my head. But you can go around here in the building right up top here. Not solid at all. So, I don't know. I actually died here, so I had to cut out and come back. Fell off the edge of that cliff, because it's pretty tricky to get around some of these areas with the scythe. The scythe is, it has such a finicky control system, and the physics are always messing it up. But here we are in the escape sequence, right near the end of this chapter. Boost up to the bridge, and you can see the control center. I think it was supposed to be a lot more deep. It was supposed to have a lot more to it than just the bottom floor and the top floor that we see. You can drive in and they have a texture on the floor, which is the same texture you see inside the control center. And you can drop down and everything. Something I want to point out is if you take the right path after you get up on the bridge, there's actually a random seeker acolyte just laying on the ground for some reason. You find that a lot in Chapter 3. Like they have seeker dark fires and whatnot just on top of the highest building in the area for no reason. They're just laying there. Of course, you can drop off the edge of this area as usual. But anyways, that's going to be the end of this video, fully working acolyte. I'll see you guys next time for another video of one of these, probably soon.